Earlier in this program, Congressman Mo Brooks detailed his efforts to close a back door to amnesty in the Defense Authorization Act. A couple of weeks ago, Dick Morris warned us of an immigration loophole in the Pacific Trade Bill. And of course, our president has not waited for Congress. He's moved forward with his own unconstitutional executive amnesty. But there is another word for amnesty these days, and it's asylum. Yes, UN and U.S. bureaucrats, the busybodies that they are, have redefined what it means to be a refugee. And that's caught the attention of a woman named Ann Corcoran, who lives in Washington County, Maryland.
It's been over 7 years since a church group from another state brought a couple hundred refugees to the rural county where I live. I wanted to know, how could they do this? What was the governmental process that allowed the resettlement of refugees to a county ill-prepared to assimilate them? I wanted to know who gave permission for what amounted to a dropping off of needy people in our county seat.
Ann Corcoran went to work, starting a website called Refugee Resettlement Watch. As a matter of fact, we can take a look at that website right now. We should also tell you that Ann researched what was going on and discovered a program now 35 years old, which has grown more prominent and important in the Obama era. This program essentially allows the UN High Commissioner for Refugees to decree just who can seek asylum here in the United States.
In summary, I discovered that the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees was choosing most of our refugees. It's under the influence of a powerful Muslim supremacist group called the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Not surprisingly, a large number of U.S.-bound refugees are coming from countries with large numbers of people who hate us. The U.S. State Department then distributes the refugees to 9 major federal contractors, 6 of which are so-called religious charities, but all are largely funded from the U.S. Treasury. They're not passing the plate on Sundays for the $1 billion price tag for the resettlement. And that figure does not include the extensive welfare benefits refugees receive.
And when it comes to welfare benefits for refugees, I cannot help but think of the Boston Marathon bombers. The extended family of the Tsarnaev brothers received more than $100,000 in public assistance. It came in the form of food stamps, Section 8 housing vouchers, and cash stipends that ended in 2012. Now take a look at a face filled with gratitude. Not really. It's the mother of those brothers, filled with contempt for the nation that took in her family and helped pay her bills. To be sure, not every refugee family is like the Tsarnaevs, but we are not paying attention to the people we're letting in, and we'll pay a heavy price for that. Of course, we've already paid a high price economically for taking in so much of the third world, and it will eventually leave our citizens wondering why so much of their hard-earned money goes to people who they're constantly told have come here to build a better life, and that better life comes at the expense of American citizens. At least that's the way I see it. Now, it's time to hear and see what you have to say via social media. Our first comment comes from Michael, who emailed commenting on President Obama at one point calling ISIS the JV team. Michael writes, his JV is jihad victory. Very creative. Our next few comments come via Facebook. The first from a viewer missing the good old days. Deborah B. posting, I really liked America's Forum. I missed some of the guests you had interviewed. Well, Deborah, we enjoy all the guests we've had here on Newsmax TV, and a whole lot of regulars from America's Forum will be joining us here on Newsmax Prime, so make sure that you stay tuned. Tommy checked in on Facebook as well. Love this one because he said, love your new show. Thanks, Tommy. And thanks to everybody for your comments. Now, whatever you have to say, good, bad, or indifferent, I'd really like to hear from you. Send us your comments via email, newsmaxprime@newsmaxtv.com. You can also check out Facebook and Twitter. That'll do it for this Tuesday night. For those you see and those you don't, stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.